think I did it. Yep, okay.
I believe in
Hello,
you.
and welcome. We are getting close to the season finale. We are in our final arc. We are at our penultimate episode here. Um,
I want it
which
to end.
and it won't for a couple of episodes. But all that to say, we do the standard, once again, round table of announcements, promotions, all of that fun stuff. I got to preview a little bit of it just because I tagged into Ramblemancy before my game, so I got to hear a little bit about it. But people have announcements for sure.
Well, if that's not a good intro, then I don't know what is. Hi, I'm Lucas Santana. You can usually find me over at twitch.tv/rule of lore on Friday evenings, 6 p.m. Pacific time, doing Ramblemancy, talking about all kinds of nerdy stuff. Or in the case of last night, struggling to talk about anything for the first half hour and then launching into like a long tirade about writing and storytelling and all that kind of stuff.
That's the writer's way.
It truly is. But yeah, we as Joe sort of hinted at, we are working currently on our season 2 of Tomorrow is Dead, our zombie RPG. This season is powered by Free League's recently kickstarted The Walking Dead Universe RPG, which I'm very excited about. It's such a cool system. And I think it is immediately like a smash hit for me. Like, it's one of my favorite TTRPG systems of all time immediately. So I'm really excited to show everybody that. But yeah, that does remind me that I was supposed to make a post today showcasing the like character art reveals, but I didn't do that. So anyway, today's been a day. That's all I got. The end. By Lucas Santana.
Hi, I'm Slay. I'm a TTRPG performer. You can follow me on Twitter at Sons of Warvan. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we're not calling it X. Fuck you, Musk.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not calling it X.
It's stupid.
Yo, I hope you realize how much you date every episode by saying that.
I know. That's alright.
It's okay. Somebody has to have a log of this entire thing. Like, hello guys, 2023 was a year.
Oh god, it's not even over yet.
Hell to the yeah. Anyway,
Still doing
Did we
promos. Yep.
interrupt
Nope.
Yeah.
I think you interrupted yourself.
Me?
Yeah. I mean,
Oopsie doopsie, sorry.
no, you're
I
good.
mean, I can do that. I'm that sort of a mess, but I'm a lovely mess. That's why you love me. Anyway, hi, Little Legend here. I draw art, as you know. I draw mostly furries. Well, weird stuff. Anyway, my commissions are open. My Tumblr is littlelegend-arts. I am also on Twitter. I keep promising to find a new platform and I don't, because I'm lazy like that. And my Twitter is little0legend. What else? Nothing interesting is going on with me specifically, so I don't know if you know VK, the very much no, you probably don't. Whatever. I'm sorry. That's it for me. Just commission me, please.
Hi there, I am Silver Sugar, aka Risa, and you can find me most places on the internet as Silver Sugar or X Silver Sugar, and recently I just got my Blue Sky handle to Silver Sugar. I'm super happy. Person who had it before gave it up.
Yeah, you
so
jumped
yeah.
on that like right away.
Oh yeah, I was shocked. I am so thrilled. It's the first time in a long time I've had my main handle on a mainstream site. So thrilled. But yeah, right now I am playing Final Fantasy XII on my channel here on Twitch. The archive is on my YouTube. And yeah, I really gotta get that thumbnail up for the second episode. I didn't mean to upload it without it, but Brand is hard to draw, y'all. Very intimidating. Very intimidating.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got for now. Thanks,
Sweet.
guys.
Okay, and we can jump into my round of announcements. As per usual, we are still looking into the likelihood, and we do plan on doing it. It's kind of not an if and more of a, when, is the To Boldly Go series, which will be a standalone monthly series Star Trek Adventures game. Those interested, we will figure out how to get you included. But that's something that's kind of in the back burner right now. Other announcements is January at some time. I'm thinking probably maybe Friday afternoons before I have other obligations. Is the Twitch Plays D&D, where you all as a chat will come and
So excited.
wreck my shit. And I do have the announcement of what you guys will be going through now. I'm going to run through you because you won't be nice to me, and I feel like it's only fair that I'm not nice to you guys. You guys are going to be run through a scaled and challenge reduced version of Tomb of Horrors.
Yo!
Why don't you just stick him
I'm
in the
even
death
more
house if you really want him
excited.
dead?
That sounds like a blast.
Oh, grabby hands. I can't wait to get in on this.
With that, so sometime in January, probably early January, we'll get our session 0 in as a chat and as a group, and you can ruin my life and your characters collectively together. And we'll run through, and essentially it'll run for, a couple hours each time, and we'll see how far people get in, and it ends whether you complete this dungeon or you die.
It sounds like such a delight.
Finally, I did tease that we had a Rune and Relic podcast project going on, but I do have stuff for that now, which is I do have a cast list for it all set now. So I have my players, and one of them is a member of Rule of Lore as well. So, if you remember and have kept up at all with In Too Deep, Leo will be joining us for that one.
Oh, hell yeah.
But we will, we're having our session 0 in a couple weeks, and then we'll probably do a character intro recording at some point, and then the first episode will be, I'll have it streamed on Twitch as well as uploaded to YouTube, and then from that point it will be unlisted and it will be on the Rune and Relic server here. So that's about where you'll want to keep up with that if you are interested in it. Let's see, anything else from that? Yes, final thing. We will be doing a season Q&A at the end of this whole season because I'm sure people have questions for us as well as questions for each other and the GM. So we will be doing that after season finale, probably the week after that. We'll see how many people are game for that, but we will do that, and then yeah, I think that's about all for our announcements here. Yeah, that's it. Alright, let's jump into our penultimate episode. We will see you guys in just a moment.
Just
Okay,
stared bleary-eyed at the
Oh, we
screen.
are in
Oh
a
my god.
mood.
Okay.
Oh, my
Oh.
stomach hurts from laughing.
Um,
Holy
yeah,
shit.
if
Okay,
anyone
Rita,
wants
Rita.
to hit Lucas up on sandwich eating techniques, you should maybe find their social handles. Uh,
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, for
Oh my god, I'm
sufficient pay,
dizzy.
I will post a video of me eating. Just like depending on how much you pay, I will eat worse or better. If you
okay.
pay me enough, I will
Okay,
just
okay.
shove it in my face.
I mean, that's
Wow.
somebody's fetish, probably.
Wow.
OnlyFans, who
Oh
cares?
wow, we are starting in it. Okay.
Oh my god.
So. Whew.
We're totally ready
I
for
made
game
it
tonight.
funny.
Yeah, I hope
Doing
so.
all right over there, Joe?
I hope so, Commander, because we're starting with you.
Delightful.
Yeah, you have a lot to reflect on in and out of game. But it's been about probably 4 or 5 hours since you got your mission adjustment. It's not a great adjustment because the implications of it are complicated and not necessarily in the realm of morality, I would say.
It depends on which shade of gray you go with.
Like pre-storm. But where are you at in this current moment?
The one
What's
that's
going
used your
through?
eyes the best, probably.
Train derailed. Okay, sorry.
We'll have to a good start.
I was just trying to make sense of what was just said. It's like I did not follow that at all. But it's like you asked, where is Jalarin currently located? She is in the ready room.
Okay. Anyone else?
And she's been spending a lot of time in there lately.
Okay.
At the moment, no, there isn't anybody else in there.
Got it.
But I would like a quick check of who is on the ship and who's planet side.
At this point, Dr. Atherton, Lieutenant Caraballo, and Lieutenant Loris are all planet side. Tate is probably getting ready to head planet side, but that's about the only, like, of your initial command structure that you have with you, aside from Lieutenant Commander.
Didn't Atherton come back up
Yeah,
to
I'm
the
sorry.
ship?
I didn't want to interrupt, but we did have it split into pairs so that it would be only Myra and Alec at a time, and Tate and
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Atherton?
you probably would have come back at this point.
Yes, and
Also
Atherton
it's
would have come
Mira.
back up when they went down.
Mhm.
So it's Atherton and Tate on the ship, Mira and Alec planet side,
Yep.
and Kavai, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Which at this point, I would say, I just need this known, and I want to know this, Kavai. You have certain ways for the team to keep, or at least try to keep track of you if things got really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Have you kept up with that, or has that just kind of got lost in the wind at this point?
There is one tether that I know that Kavai doesn't know about, player does. But other than that, they have attempted to slip everything they can. They're... Oh, sorry, I got doggos in the background.
it's a puppy. But on the bright side, they only know what Mira. No, yeah, No, they only know
They
what
only
Tate
know what
looks like.
They only know what I
So
look
they don't
like,
know what
yeah.
either
Yeah.
of the current people on the ground look like.
Nope.
Mhm.
They only know what I look like.
So yeah, then it is Tate and Atherton that are shipward with you.
And we're at the end of a shift, end of the day, and that corresponds with the end of the day on Orion.
Yes, you're like the hourly clocks are synced, so they have to be, otherwise it gets confusing and there could be mission
Yeah.
like time lag, which is not great. So essentially we are close to the end of the 21st day and it'll be going into the 22nd.
So it's twilight hours. Where is Kavai exactly at this point?
Right now, I believe they would be in their apartment. Yeah, that sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't
After
they
after a
pull away the other daughter for a sleepover after the parents got all pissed?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I
Like,
assumed we
wasn't
were
there a
few-
quick escape?
Were we a few days out from that, or?
Oh, we are?
No,
I thought it was the
wasn't sure
20th.
if
No,
it was
no, we're not. Mm-mm.
no. This would be around the
We're
same
still same day.
time, but I mean
Okay, in that case, then we're out by the waterfall.
Yep. Which is somewhat exterior to the Orion capital. It's not super far out of the way, but it's more rural-esque.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, we're
So,
definitely
but-
chilling.
Shipside, Doran's in her ready room. She's sitting on, there's enough room for at least a couch in there. So she's on the couch. Outwardly, by all appearances, it looks like she's meditating.
Mm-hmm.
Kavai, planet side, you start getting an urge of, I need to be alone. You gotta go someplace and be private.
Oh, great. That's not suspicious at all to my lovely date. Yeah, I think.
You just get this nagging feeling where it's like, I gotta, like, go someplace else right now.
What is the absolute, like, limit of what I'm able to push, like, trying to ignore that on? Like, what's the time frame? Like,
I think you could probably ignore it for just because of distance is a factor, but I think you could probably ignore it for up to about 10 to 15 minutes before it becomes
Okay.
more of a like slight nausea feeling. But overall,
I then make the excuse that I need to find a restroom or something and just slip away for a little bit. But I make it like I'm not like leaving, or at least I try not to make it look like I'm leaving.
okay.
And I will make myself scarce. Just kind of look around, like, what is going on? Can I tell the source?
Not yet.
No.
Okay.
Definitely not. It's
Just in that case, like,
You know
definitely
it's
like shaking
external,
off
is-
my hands. Like I've got like that. I got these nerves. I don't know what's going on. Today was super stressful. I nearly fucked things up with my parents royally. In fact, I know I already fucked up with my parents royally. Like, I'm just like, okay, it's the stress. I'm clearly stressed. I just need gonna go like find some water or something. Yeah.
Gradually, you get the feeling that, like, I gotta lie down for a bit. This is feeling like I just need to maybe a short nap.
Okay. Where? Okay. What's the terrain around me like?
it's oh, God. Think of like a nice parkway that has kind of that waterfall spilling downwards, except like enlarging it by about a factor of maybe 20.
Okay.
It's definitely got some like that soft type of patches of foreign type of grass and like cobbled pathway, and there's like
Okay.
smooth bench and stuff like that, but
Okay. Actually, try to find like a tree or something just to lean against.
okay.
The moment you get comfortable and you start dozing off, it's like your mind just goes somewhere else entirely. It's like you don't recognize where you've gone.
Okay.
You're
Otherwise, see if I
surrounded
look
by
around.
you're surrounded by a model of like a mixture and a mix of terrain. Some of it is familiar, some of it isn't. And it's clearly a mishmash of things you've seen on Earth, on Orion, other like on wherever stations you've been on. It's just a strange kaleidoscope of landscapes around you.
Okay, very dreamlike.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think
And then-
I'll try to look for something more familiar and like less chaotic. Am I able to find anything like that?
Here and there, peeking around a corner, you see Tate.
Kind of wave, like, but like a very like, hey, like, still not quite sure if this is real or if she ate something really bad.
The moment you try to interact with Tate, suddenly they disappear. You turn around another corner, there's Tate again.
Okay.
And this keeps happening. It's like you keep looking for Tate, Tate suddenly disappears.
Okay. I think at that point I sort of cross my arms, plant my feet, and just try to focus best I can. It does not go well.
What comes up is to the surf. What bubbles to the surface is the memory of when you're walking down the hall with Tate, and you ask them specifically, "Go with me, go planet side with me." And he was like, "You remember that crystal clear." And then you start seeing flashes of every single time you've tried to chase off Tate or lose them, or like, and that gets juxtaposed with that memory. Go with me, be down there with me. And that just keeps flashing back and forth. Be with me. But then you keep chasing them off or losing them in some way. And there's this undercurrent of disappointment.
Can I like push back with anything?
Yeah, absolutely. In what way are you pushing back is the best question.
It's more like I don't want to say like an attempt at justification, but it's like just this feeling of
Not justification, but just shutting it out.
yeah. It's more like I needed them to find out this other stuff. It wasn't because I needed them. They had their own job.
Okay. In that case, Kavai, I'm going to have you make... Oh, this is going to be fun.
Oh.
This is going to be a reason and command roll for you. And from Commander Jaloran, that is going to be presence command. And again, since this is a PvP variation, the difficulty will be determined by your successes.
Okay.
And I'd be able to pull in composure on this, wouldn't I?
Yes, you would.
Alright.
Crit.
Oh.
Uh,
Alright. Well, 7 and
I got a 2 and a
14,
4.
so 1.
I got 2 and a 4, so that's like 4 for me.
Yeah, no, this tracks.
Okay. That's also technically counts as 3 momentum. I think it's one of those things for you, Kai, where you were trying to, like... Again, it's not really justification as much as it is... dodging
A difference in
the issue.
perspective. Yeah.
Unfortunately, what you were up against has... several... what could be equivalent to a few lifetimes of experience. And that
Yes, a lot.
undercurrent, it's like you decided, like, I'll just run away going downriver. Except the moment you turn around, that feeling, that current, it feels like going upriver again. Except a little bit more violently.
Mm. Don't like that, none.
So that continues on.
Anxious.
Yeah, that continues on for a little bit. It's like it's definitely crystallizing for you that it's like that's a first step, like first stumble for you. Like you have asked for one thing, you're doing another. It's not lining up with what you agreed to do. And it's like no matter,
think you would get this sense of, I don't even like what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's very much like okay, I realize what's going on. This isn't necessarily what I wanted. I can admit that. Help.
gradually as you stumble along, you get through to a door and you go through it and you're back at headquarters. You're suddenly back on Earth.
I will find, like, the nearest chair.
You walk through another door and suddenly you're downstairs. Like, it doesn't make any sense how you got there. You know that it takes several flights of stairs to go down to your lab, but suddenly you're in your lab.
Yeah, I will plop myself in the nearest chair and just be like, okay, whatever this is. Okay. Just calm space. Happy space. This is fine. I need to stop taking that stuff. Clearly.
That was such a bad trip.
Yep.
On the tables close by is some of the pads and which you recognize they're pads that Jalorn has given you.
Okay. I will pick one up. Am I able to read anything off it?
Mm-hmm. You would recognize it immediately. This is the coursework that Jalorn has given you.
Yeah.
Stuff that you've been working on.
Ish. Trying. There's definitely an attempt and then just one more episode. Kind of thing.
But it's coursework that you know that Jalorn expects you to get done. Some of it is related to what you've been doing at headquarters, and some of it is like you're not quite sure why this has been given to you, but sure, okay. We'll get this done.
Absolutely.
But as you try to continue to look through it some more, suddenly the pad starts disappearing.
I think, like, once that starts happening, I like sort of like move to like sort of slam it down, like very like irritated, like what the heck is going on?
And it just shatters apart into like bits of data, or like suddenly just poofs apart and it's gone.
I think at that point I would reach like for my badge.
Okay.
As you touch it, it crumbles apart.
Great, love that. Do I have any sort of sense of how or why this is happening? At
Do
this
you look around the room again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Something catches your eye in the corner of the room.
Tilt my head. I stay still, but I look towards it like, very intently.
You know there isn't any hooks on the walls in there you're allowed, but hanging from one neatly, just waiting for you to put it on, is a uniform for the Starfleet Academy.
Hang on. Roll something for myself. Odds I go for it, evens I stay still. I will take a couple steps toward it then.
It doesn't do anything. It's just hanging there. Seems to be beckoning you.
2 other things I've touched have shattered. I'm gonna reach out tentatively with one finger and give it like a tap.
And it falls to dust at your feet.
Great, love
And
that. Mm-hmm.
Undercurrent of disappointment comes back. The same juxtaposition of, I asked for Tate, but I keep ditching Tate.
Okay. Clearly, this is a manifestation of my own guilt, and I'm being punished. Love this. Hate this. Definitely that, like, same undercurrent of, I need to stop taking that shit. Oh, I'm in so much trouble. Not the kind of trouble I thought I was in. This is almost worse, but better, if that makes any sort of sense.
Yeah, I get it.
This is good trouble. Kind of.
Kinda,
Okay.
sorta.
Yeah.
Eventually you start getting, like, the whisper on the edge of your mind that, you need to find a private space because someone needs to talk to you. As in, ditch your friend.
Great, love that.
How that presence, that mind voice knows, don't know, but you need to ditch him.
Okay.
And if you need to make an excuse to go back to your own apartment, whatever, it's like, yeah, time to have a chat.
Very, very heavy sigh. Just... Okay. Yeah. Fine. Whatever. Long day anyway. Just a string of curse words.
You feel like you're getting squeezed a little bit until there's, like, you start to realize that, like, whoever this is wants a very firm agreement that you will go back to someplace private.
Fucking fine!
With that, like, suddenly you're wide awake.
Okay. Yep. I think I will take whatever, like, bag I've got of, like, the remainder of the shit and, like, just that goes on the ground. Like, fuck that. Like, someone's gonna have a good night when they pick that up later. But, like, yeah, cold turkey not the best idea, but we're, never touching that shit again. Don't do what Kavai does. But yeah, I will head back to my friend and I think it's less that Kavai makes an excuse and more that I think she just sort of says, well, I'm getting called back, you know, my parents, and that's like the sort of lie that they go with.
Okay. No, I get it. My father can be overbearing at times too, but I get it.
I think Kavai sort of, like, very sarcastically just sort of drops, like, well, one day all the old men will be dead and we'll figure it out. Very, very not bitter. I don't know what you're talking about. Well,
Okay.
I will head off. I think I stopped by my apartment first, just to try and freshen up.
Okay.
Do I have any idea of where I need to be?
Well, the impression you got was like you needed to be someplace private if you couldn't get back to your apartment. So
Gotcha.
like being in your
Okay.
apartment is fine,
Mhm.
Perfect.
or like wherever your crash pad is at the moment.
I think I
So-
even do another like full sweep of my apartment just to make sure my parents aren't up to any sort of shit. Just to fully make sure that I'm secure and alone this time.
Okay. Make a, because this is kind of important here. Insight security, difficulty 2.
Okay. Can I use my focus as a detective?
Yes.
Okay, what is that? I'm so sorry. Remind me again.
Focuses
How
will
that-
make your discipline number or lower a crit. So.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. And okay. Oh no! I landed on the floor. Okay. Well, that's not helpful at all. Yeah, no successes. Nothing like
Okay.
in bad failure range, but nothing helpful or good. I think I'm still too frazzled. It's just a bare
Yeah,
minimum
you're
sleep.
definitely a little bit like this night has been.
Yeah.
a
Just as long as
whirlwind of
nobody's like
events.
physically here, I'm whatever. Fuck it.
Okay.
And yeah.
So we'll pause there with Kavai settling in.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to switch to Alec.
Oh boy.
Well,
So where are Alec and Mira currently?
the last I recall, we were in the process of getting ready to go down planet side.
You were probably planet side at this point, so
Okay.
probably just
Also, just to be
monitoring
clear, does that mean that our appearance has been altered?
ever so slightly, yeah.
Okay. Like, are we? How? In what ways have we been altered? I'm just curious.
The physicality remains somewhat the same, other than like the outward Orion appearance, and to
Okay.
any sort of basic like scans might like deeper looks into like certain scans will probably reveal that there's something wrong going on, but just general like scans are not going to ping anything
So, like,
suspicious.
Don't go donating blood, is what you're saying.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay. Cool. I was just curious. Yeah, so do we have our just to be clear, our mission down here is basically to like kind of keep tabs on Kavai. Is that what I understand?
Yeah, that's kind of the mission parameters that have had been set because Kavai has not been participatory to this mission really at all.
Okay. Fair. So reestablish contact, but like stay out, like without actually making contact. Is that what I'm kind of
I think so.
Has Jaloran told us to basically like not make direct contact?
Yeah. So for Atherton, Mira, and Alec, no direct contact. Don't let Kavai figure out who you are. But Tate is allowed contact because Kavai knows what Tate looks like.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. That being the case, we know where Kavai's apartment is, more or less.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be easy to track her down there, no problem.
Okay. Then if it's cool with you, Little, I think that maybe we've like set up somewhere like in the vicinity where we can like be casual observers.
Yeah, that sounds like an idea. I'm sorry, I had to reload everything in my house for a second there.
Oh.
But yeah, yeah, that's
Okay.
love the rain season. Anyway, so yeah, they're gonna be stealthy. They're gonna watch the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I'm gonna lean in to Mira and just say, look, I'm not really sure exactly what's going on with Kavai. What I do know is that she is truly threading a needle here. As far as I'm aware, she hasn't broken any actual legitimate, like, big Starfleet rules or anything like that at the moment. There's some shades of gray here. Our mission right now is basically to. I know it's our mission is to ensure that to reestablish contact and try to get Kavai back on mission without actually making contact. But that's our Starfleet mission. As members of Kavai, like the crew that Kavai is on, I'm kind of letting you in on a little bit of a side mission here. We need to make sure that whatever Kavai does, whatever she's doing, she doesn't go so far that Starfleet can get rid of her, basically. Come down hard on her.
So, you said a lot of words right here. Let me correct it for you. We just have to make sure that she doesn't fuck up.
In essence, that's about the long and the short of it, yeah.
Well, I'm not the one to think of the slickest maneuvers and such, so I'm gonna leave it to you. But if push comes to shove, I feel like, I don't know, it's against the rules and such, but just shoving her into a bag and running off with her, that sounds like
Oh, good. Black bagging, great. Love that.
Hey, it can be clear bag if you want.
I
I mean, it's not like you weren't just debatably brainwashed by your own captain.
Which, yeah.
I mean, I will say no to that, but only on the basis that tends to be a little. It's hard to pull that off inconspicuously.
Hey, I mean, she's a daughter of some big shot around here, right?
As far as I understand it, yeah.
If we, I don't know, put on some wacky mustaches or whatever. Yes, she did watch too many cartoons. We
You're so
could.
Alec is just going to gesture to his own very mustached and bearded face.
Well, you're gonna shave. I don't know. Figure it out. Well, anyway, if we could just, make it as if she's been kidnapped by some of her father's enemies. You can't have the house this big and not have enemies. Like, I'm pretty sure.
That's fair. I think the big thing here is I don't exactly trust Starfleet in the midst of all this. Even if Kavai accomplishes the mission, I don't trust Starfleet not to cut her loose and make her collateral damage. And I'm not
Blasphemy! Look at you.
I'm not going to let that happen. So, if it comes down to it, and she gets put in that position, it's up to us to get her out.
Yeah, we'll leave the bag plan for, just in case.
Just keep it in our
Other
back
than
pocket.
that, nice one. But yeah, other than that, I guess all we can do is just watch her and maybe deter some people from coming in contact with her, perhaps.
Oh, running interference. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, if we can't grab her, we can definitely, and she kind of like, smashes a palm her head with her fist. We just gotta, like, push them down, maybe in some garbage cans. Nobody will even notice.
We'll workshop that.
Yeah, you're kind of the brain. Again, I'm not much of a planner. People would usually, plan stuff for me in my daily routine back in the days. So, it's murky waters, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, for now, it's a whole lot of sitting that we have to do.
Well, at least I don't have to do any paperwork. That's a bonus.
That's an excellent point.
Yeah.
As if it is poignant to say such a thing, you can feel Mira and Kobayo, you can feel just a water droplet hit your nose, and then another kind of above your eyebrow, and then more water droplets as it begins to rain.
I feel like Alec makes some comment grumbling under his breath about this becoming even more of a noir detective story, but doesn't elaborate.
She kind of turns to him. Okay, if this is a noir detective, you do not call me a sidekick.
If anything, Mira,
it's either Doctor
both
or
of us are the sidekicks here.
What? I mean, no, Kawaii would be a spy of sorts, not a detective. I could not imagine her in a, fedora, though it would suit her. She would look really cute. Anyway.
Think about now, after this conversation, is probably when Jaloran and Kobayo have that link.
Yeah, I think it's good timing.
Wait, is the whole her getting the link happening on outside? On the street under the rain?
No, well, for Alec, yes, but...
I thought correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that happened elsewhere, and then Kavai afterwards returned to the apartment. Am I right about that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Like, I know she walked out, but where she walked out, I wasn't sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Specifically. Yeah.
But at this point, you see Kavai come back.
I feel like Alec makes that note at the exact moment that like the connection happens.
Like unbidden in your mind, like there's a door, and like it's kind of subtle in the back of your mind, and you see like almost like out of the corner of your eye, there's a door, and somebody's knocking on it. Like very polite knocks.
I'll stand up and open the door.
Like physically.
Yes. Well, because like I sort of imagine that however this link was happening, like Alec was already sitting in physically in the real world, and then like mentally like stands up and goes to, like I feel like mentally.
Ooh,
is
that
also
would be
sitting.
such a cool fucking visual. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Like Mira's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh yeah, Mira's gonna.
No, I think I
Quick
don't stand
question.
up. I don't think I stand up physically.
What would it look like for Mira, seeing him just fucking walk out of his body? not like visually seeing, because obviously she can, but like, what would he look like?
It looks like
After
relaxation and centering into a set of deep focus.
No, his face. What's his face? Does he look like he's asleep, or is he staring into a
No,
wall?
definitely not.
No, it's like being lost in deep thought and staring off into the middle distance.
I feel like it'd be harder to detect though, because like at the exact moment that like Kavai came, it's like his face focused up all of a sudden, and like that could just as easily be like because mission objective is here.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not suspicious, because otherwise
No.
she would
No,
really.
it's not that suspicious. It's actually pretty on plan.
Yeah. But like, so like physically I'm sitting, mentally I'm also sitting in this like connection. I think I mentally stand up and go and like open the door.
Mm-hmm.
You see Jalor in there. It's like no big surprise. You probably had a suspicion that's who it was.
Mm-hmm. Commander?
Is there a spot you and Mira could find that would be a bit more private?
I think this is maybe the first moment that, as this is happening, that Alex starts to realize, like at the mention of Mira, that like, hold on, wasn't I sitting somewhere? This is weird, and like, but like also isn't like thinking that hard about it. Just sort of, we can. There's a little spot around the corner that we can go.
Sufficiently out of sight?
Of Kavai? Yes, definitely.
And other passerbys?
Can make that happen.
Once you do that, I need you to make a physical connection with Mira. Holding hands is fine.
Is this... I think Alec doesn't, like... It's like he's figuring out what's going on as he's saying words. As he's saying the words, and just like... Understood.
Let me know when you two are settled. Just knock on the door again.
Hi, Commander.
For the sake of just time, it's pretty easily accomplished.
Yeah, we'll just go back to like this, like sort of out of the way, like not necessarily like, yeah, it's just like not like a full on like alleyway or anything like that, but like a weird sort of architecture where we can kind of sit just slightly out of like direct view, and yeah.
I wanted to suggest a roof of some sorts, but it's raining, so not an option. And if you spy on someone, you gotta be on the roof, like, duh.
Well, that's snipers.
Snipers. Hey, listen, it's not that. I'm just kidding.
I mean,
Okay, which of us has the rifle?
I live in a ground floor building.
Anyway, we get somewhere private, and then I say, "Well, Lieutenant, sorry, that's still taking some getting used to." And
Yeah, I get it. Same here.
just hold out a hand. Says, "Commander's orders."
Should hope so, because you know you're not my type, right?
This would be a really lame pickup line,
Thank
even
God.
for me.
she grabs his hand, and just so you know, her grip, it's really fucking that's a stone like grip.
Mm-hmm. I'll then just sort of like mentally go back to the door.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Does
this.
this mean, sorry. Does this mean that he's he's kind of like pulling Mira with him?
To some degree, yeah.
Pretty much. Like, because Mira has never been physically in contact with Joloran doesn't have a connection to her. So she's using Alec to create that connection.
Okay.
So basically, she's
like the
chaining the two
bridge.
minds together. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
Nice.
So it's like the moment the door opens with Alec, Mira gets this odd sensation of like something opening in her own head.
Give it a second. The vertigo will pass.
It's not the vertigo. I'm feeling fucking worms in my brain.
That's no way to speak about a commander.
She kind of looks at him like she's half mad, but half is like, what the
I think
hell
that's
is
the moment
going
where I open the door and Jaloran is standing there.
So we're gonna switch to Tate.
I love this so much.
Mira is freaking the hell out. I'm sorry.
Okay.
At least it's not just goodbye.
What is Tate doing in this moment before becoming linked?
I think Tate. So we established that Tate had already gotten up. So I think Tate is just like catching up on reports and making sure things are settled, and just like I think Tate also has an office, but it's like much smaller than Jaloran's ready room.
I mean,
And-
it's a Apollo class Defiant variant. It's a small office.
Yeah, I think it's not even really an office; it's more like a closet that's been like repurposed.
Yep, pretty much.
And so Tate's just going over paperwork. Tate is because their ship to go after Kavai doesn't start for a little while, so Tate's not going to the medical place, the medical the med bay. Yeah, the med bay just yet. They're waiting a little bit because they're just catching up on paperwork and making sure everything's in as much as in order for this mission as possible, so that like on paper it looks like we're doing well and not, but in reality we're not. But like on paper we're doing great. They're fixing up the paper trail basically.
Okay.
Everything is going according to plan, pretty much.
Alright.
You get the same sort of sensation that Alec gets. Like there's somebody knocking on the door.
Tate has experienced Jaloran's telepathy before, so Tate knows what this is, and Tate just like opens the door, just immediately opens it. Yes, Commander?
Could you get Dr. Atherton and come to the ready room?
Right away, sir. And I put my paperwork up, and I go find Dr. Atherton.
Okay. Between the 4 decks that this ship has, I don't think Dr. Atherton is very hard to find, considering there are only, at this time, there are 27 people aboard.
I am also incredibly flashy.
Yeah,
A
there's that.
magpie in cyan.
So Tate just goes up to Dr. Atherton and says, "The commander wants to see us real quick in her ready room."
Right away.
All right, let's go.
Again, not that long to get there. If it was a larger vessel, it might take time, but this takes less than a couple minutes.
So getting into the ready room, the two of you find that like Jorn seems to be like deep meditation. Just like she doesn't do anything to react to the two of you coming into the room. But in Tate's head, they get the clear instruction of like she wants them to sit on either side of her and make physical contact with her. They get the sense that this would make things easier on her. Less strain on her if they were making physical contact with her.
Yeah, I relay that to Dr. Atherton. We need to be on either side of her, and one hand on each shoulder should do it. She's trying to use her telepathy right now.
Which, of course, is news to Dr. Atherton.
Yeah, actually, Dr. Atherton looks incredibly displeased by this. And she's gonna hesitate for a good couple moments before following suit.
Okay. So, after a little bit, your Skype call is now connected.
Yeah, she takes a moment with Dr. Atherton privately, basically to fill her in. Like, I would have told you earlier, but we've got something crucial that's come up, and I need everybody. I need to fill in everybody privately. This was the best way I could do it.
I love that she takes time with Dr. Atherton, but not with Mira. Mira is still freaking the fuck out there. She has no idea what the hell is going on. She never, nobody ever actually told her.
See, somebody is standing in a room with her comatose body and a gun, and somebody isn't. So,
no, Mira is right there. She is holding her head in her hands, like she's kind of looking at her feet, trying to understand what the fucking hell is going on here.
But no, she understands where Jaloran is coming from, but she does mention that she is not a particularly big fan of this.
Yeah.
And would like to discuss it later when we're not on such a time sensitive mission.
Oh, Mira as well. The moment this is all over, she is gonna fucking riot.
Dr. Atherton gets a strong sense of understanding. So it's like, as if Jaloran expected that. It's like she knows they're gonna have to talk later. But this was a move of last resort, clearly. And then it's like she settles Tate and Atherton into that same room that Tate remembers. It's like a clear, like, white space. There's nobody around. And then gradually she pulls in Alec, and then like she does the same with Mira, and it's like with Mira, Mira can tell that there's a little bit more, there's strain. It's like almost as if like talking through those old tin cans. It's like Jaloran's trying her best to get across what's going on to Mira, but it's clearly more difficult because she's going through Alec to do it.
Just fair, yeah.
But after a couple of minutes, she gets like the four of them settled, and then she turns her attention back to Kavai. So where's Kavai?
I love how she's like settling everyone down like kindergartners in a circle. Like on a small little carpet, like everyone sit down, it's time for class hour.
Well, she's not telling you to sit, she's just like she's getting everybody into this room. It's like it's clearly a safe space. Yeah, not that.
But yeah, Kawai will have probably just like face first into the couch just as soon as they got in home and did that like just bare minimum sweep. Exhausted. Heck it.
Okay.
That odd presence immediately reappears.
Okay. Still no clear sense of how or
why or who.
yeah.
Not quite. But it does gradually coalesce. It's familiar. You felt this before. You may not have realized it, but you have felt this before.
I think, yeah, it's more like, oh, there's that domino. Gotcha. I think that does a lot more to fix their mood towards the whole thing. Yeah.
So Jaloran becomes a more firm presence in Kavai's mind, and that sense of disappointment coalesces. It's clearly coming from Jaloran.
Okay. Oddly, that's better than it being some sort of internal thing, because that was weird.
There's
That
still
makes
time
way
for this
more
to be
sense.
worse.
I know. Yeah. Can I see everybody else, or is it just Jaloran right now?
Not yet. It's just Jaloran at the moment.
Okay. Yeah. Even though this is like a mind link, there's still no eye contact. Very, very sheepish.
Do you have a general idea of why I'm disappointed?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, please.
I think like that just makes it even worse, and her like form just sort of like slumps. And I don't think that they're able to put it into words. They sort of shut down. And, you would get this sense of, like, shame, of course, but, like, there's definitely something more going on with their demeanor of, well, now I'm caught, jig is up, I'm in trouble, just deal with whatever punishment this is. Like, very, very much a shutdown. In every sense of the word. And you would get the sense that this is something that's happened before.
Yeah. Like, mentally, Jaloran doesn't let them, like, quote-unquote, slither away. Like, she just kind of wraps Kavai up in this comforting blanket. Like, it doesn't, there's no blanket that appears, but, like, mentally, there's this comfort that immediately wraps around Kavai. It's like, yeah,
you would
there's
immediately get, like,
but
this,
he's not
like,
mad.
Yeah, at that sort of presence, you would get, like, a flinch. But once they realize that it's, like, not violent, like you get this immediate like, oh, that's not how that normally goes. And like pure like there's this moment of confusion, and then there's a moment of registering, no, safe place, this is normal, this is supposed to be how this is normal. And then they sort of like look up at you like, oh, okay. Like then you get that like re-registering of connection on Kavai's part.
Yeah, and there's another gentle nudge of, tell me.
I just... This guy we're supposed to be going after, they're nobody. I just thought... It's no secret they want him dead, right? Like, I didn't think... If Starfleet wants anyone dead, then... why not somebody worse? I can prove it!
There's like this sensation of a gentle pat on her hand. And Kavai definitely gets the sense that there's more to be said. There's something that needs to be said, but not right then. My main disappointment is you went off the rails. You may have been able to ditch Tate, but I know. And she kind of emphasizes the connection, like making it very clear that she's been listening in. She knows where Kavai's been.
Very, like, just so much embarrassment.
What I need for you to do right now, Kavai, I need you to get back on track. I need you to get back in sync with the rest of the team. We're here for you. Can you do that?
It takes them a while, but eventually they nod. You can see that there's like very conflicting emotions like on their face. But
the best way for this mission to succeed is with everybody working together. Okay?
they kind of look to the side.
I imagine you're wondering about that academy uniform.
Clearly, like, they were derailed from, like, what they had been thinking about. I guess... I never really got to go to any sort of school. My parents taught me, and I only ever got stories secondhand from what it was supposed to be like. I guess I'm just a little intimidated. is all.
The academy is an option for you. And you wouldn't be going into it alone. However, that option goes away if you continue to derail this mission. Do you understand?
Yes, affirmative. Very much understood, sir.
I would like you to think about it. I think you'd do well at the academy.
They kind of put their hand through their hair. Maybe. I don't know if I could handle being around that many people all at once. It's different.
The courses I've been having you do. The courses I've been having you do have been on the long distance program. We can certainly still continue doing that. It is an option.
They definitely like brighten up with that more.
There's a lot more to be discussed, but we'll need the others here.
Okay. How much
Were
do
you
you
going
know
to say
about...
something?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
How much do you know about my parents?
Let's say for you,
A lot more than you think.
The Syndicate half, you know a lot of. The Vulcan half, there's a lot of, like, speculation that floats around there, but nothing that's concrete or proven.
A lot more than you realize. But there's new information that's come to light that needs to be discussed with the entire team.
Sort of set their jaw. The reason I was trying to take care of this myself, I just didn't. Some stuff happened to me, and I just didn't want anyone to look at me different. If they knew.
Going off the rails like you have has made everyone look at you a lot harder. You would unintentionally reveal the very thing you're trying to hide.
They kind of like soothe that for a second. Like, definitely hadn't thought that far ahead.
I call headquarters the safe house for a reason. Come back into line with us, and things stay safe there.
Yes, sir.
She gestures to a door that was... we were pretty sure wasn't there a second ago.
Yeah, that tracks.
Shall we?
Fine nods.
So now we're full circle. It's like everybody's in the mindscape.
The weirdest conference call I've ever been a part of.
Yes.
And I think
Could have been an email.
can I just do like one real quick description? I think before Kavai steps through that door, before they'd been wearing that wig that even in their little mindscape, the wig of the disguise, very, very proper Orion, short white. I think before they step through the door, they take it off, and it's their natural, long, dark green.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as Kavai looks around at everybody else, everybody would look the way that Kavai is used to seeing them. So it's like not as they look presently, but like Alec is clearly human. Mira's Atherton is wearing whatever she's wearing.
Sure.
So nobody is in disguise or anything of that sort. It's as if we're just all sitting down at the conference room on Earth.
I like that visual.
Can I get everyone or whoever is not frazzled to do a quick command presence roll?
Is that? Yeah. Okay. Command presence. Are those
That's not
things
Even if
that
I'm
I'm
not
good at?
frazzled, I'm just kind of annoyed.
Presence command.
I'm
This
frazzled,
is definitely my best roll for sure. It's not my worst roll, but it's close.
Would team dynamics or lead by example come in as a focus on this?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Mhm.
Does this count as subspace communications? I'm joking. Completely joking.
No.
That's really funny.
Two
Wait, it was
Oh,
command and what was the attribute?
Presence.
presence.
I would also do command insight if one of those is better.
Oh.
Oh,
Should I
that is
re-
much better, actually.
I guess I shouldn't. So that doesn't
Then that is
change-
actually 2 successes.
doesn't actually change my roll. I do have a success, but I also have a complication.
Oh, delightful.
I have 2
Great.
successes.
Oh,
Complication will come up at some point. Don't worry, I know what it is already.
Cool.
Oh,
Cool.
do I have to
You're
roll
welcome.
2 after all, or not?
If you feel like you've got the presence of mind, or if you feel like your character is too distracted, too like out of sorts to like really pick up on anything else, up to you.
God, everything's breaking up. Give me a second. Probably, yeah, she's probably not, gathered currently. She's like freaking out as much, but she's trying to assess the situation around her. It's a mindscape, so she's not very. How do I say it? It's a person who didn't believe in therapy until she entered,
Sorry.
fucking medical school. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
Unlike everyone else, she is pretty out of it. She needs more time to herself.
So for those who did roll, you would have needed at least one success. And so it's like you're going around the circle, you're counting faces, including yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's something's not adding up.
The math ain't mathin'.
Yeah, the math ain't mathin'. There's clearly one more presence than actual faces.
can we
Those of you-
process of elimination determine where they are?
Yeah, those of you who got 2 or more, you can kind of tell that 7th presence is somewhere else.
Yeah, I got
Kate,
2. Yep.
You would quickly put 2 and 2 together. That 7th presence is Chakotay.
Yep, that's what I figured.
Dr. Atherton, you're really confused. You can just tell that like there's somebody else. You're clearly male. You're not sure where they're at. And you don't know who it is.
I don't like any of this, boss.
I'm like, Alec is like slowly like counting faces and just going, I take it back. Now this is the weirdest conference call I've ever been a part of.
Mira kind of looking at him like, what?
Just don't worry about it. Just
Something
keep,
else.
keep. No, don't worry about it. Just keep your head down. Just breathe and keep your head down.
I'm fine.
I think
I'm
just
fine.
hearing
I
someone
just...
say "keep your head
Sorry.
down," Kavai puts their head on the table.
Kavai can feel take. Sorry, go for it.
She detaches the head from her body and puts it onto the table.
Lauren, can you
do that? But
Lauren, can you start
understanding
before
this
you drive us all into an anxiety attack?
Tate, you were saying something.
Yeah, Kavai can feel Tate looking at her. She just feel their eyes on her.
Oh, hate that.
Alec is going to take a different approach to this. Be like, Kavai, glad you're here. It'll be a lot easier to save you from yourself with you on board.
Just very low groan.
On one end, like, go ahead.
Sorry.
At one end of the mindscape, like, comes up like a very familiar screen. Delorn is clearly leaning on things that they're used to seeing in the boardroom or the conference room of headquarters. And what comes up is clearly a briefing. And she starts playing back the call that she had with Tate's mom.
Oh, goodness.
Ooh.
Just for like the audience and stuff, can you recap what that was?
Yes, the call itself was a specific mission adjustment. Originally it was 1 target, it has now changed to 3. The call signifies of someone who is a CO, a mission commander, is the only one who should know about this mission. Letting anyone else know the deeper aspects of the mission is probably as close as you can get to treason as possible. The mission briefing being
neat.
having these 3 big players, this Vulcan diplomat, this syndicate leader, and this field dynamic scientist, who all have connections to some form of crime or the other. It would be ideal if they were to be removed as galactic players just permanently. Whether or not at Lauren's discretion that she enact that or have them fight each other and or kill each other, that is also acceptable. But what are you going to say?
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. From Kavai, you just get this absolute wave of, I fucking knew it!
Yeah, Joanne does her best to like give it off an aura like this is incredibly serious, and then that she's like this is a different line of approach from before when they were going after the Ross. And it's like whereas before she was trying to protect them, now she's trying to make sure that everybody is on the same page without letting in anybody else. Like letting anybody else on the ship know that they're getting in on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
But she knows that she can't do this without them.
This is kind of so shocking that Mira is actually calm now. More or less. Also,
Dr. Atherton is
idea
trying
of sort of also the idea of sort of committing treason kind of weirdly tickles her Well, in a good way. Continue, please.
I was just going to say, honestly, Dr. Atherton's like trying to figure out the logistics of this mission.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, after
somebody
like,
has to think about how it's actually going to get done if we can't figure out an alternate method.
yeah, and that's more like where Jaloran landed. It's like there's too much for her to be able to manage on her own. It's like she needs this team together, and everybody needs to know what's at stake for this to work. And as the video ends, or like quote unquote video, what comes up is the additional briefing that the Admiral sent her about Jasmine and Stolas, like everything that she now knows, she's sharing with the rest of the group.
I hope
So
you realize I'm
what
not
are we
going
supposed
to.
to do about it?
That's why I brought everybody together. We need to make a decision on this. How do we want to approach this?
This. Kvike sort of like gestures like very emphatically at the monitor. Well, if I'd known we had that as an option, I wouldn't have gone off on my own.
I learned about this exactly 5 hours ago, Kavai.
That tracks.
To interrupt, and I do want to preface this by saying that I wouldn't judge you for the answer. Could I ask how much of this you were aware of before, and how much of this your parents know you're aware of?
I sort of like make a move like I'm trying to like gather the pads that I would have on my like physical body, like as if she's been trying to gather all this evidence. Can I like pull stuff out of the ether?
Yeah, actually.
Sick. I just
Nice.
like start depositing shit. Like for one, you don't know where the pockets. Like how was she carrying all this? But two, like, oh, they've gathered a lot of shit.
Can I take the pads? Can Clarice look over them?
Yeah.
What are the chances that we can just hold all? I realize this is the least important thing right now, but if we could just hold all meetings like this in the future, I would forget things a lot less often. Like the number of times that I have forgotten my pad in my room, this would solve all of that. Anyway, I realize not important. Let's move on.
Oh,
I have a question that has so many implications for this telepathy.
Okay.
Can I connect this pad to my mechanical brain?
No.
Okay.
No, you can't, unfortunately.
God, I have to read this like a fucking normal person.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But it's
Mirror
a
is
mental
gonna grab
mind.
Sorry.
You are forming a memory here. And it's like you can read back into your memory and recall this later. Because it's like this is a collective memory at this point.
Yeah, it just slows down the rate of
Fascinating.
information that like she can physically read at once because Kavai is dumping pads and pads onto the table.
Quick question: if you take that pad, what would it feel like? Just like holding a normal pad, right?
Just like a normal pad, yeah.
The Mindscaper is relying on your own senses, your own memory of what things feel like. So however you perceive that pad is what it's going to feel like to you.
Basically, something completely incomprehensible is happening to our brains, and they're processing it in the only way they know how: sensory experience.
Exactly.
So,
Nice.
how committed to life are we here?
Jaloran just looks over at Kavai.
For a fraction of a second, there's like the mask of, oh, I shouldn't like say the quiet part, but then it just sort of slips, and she's like just very uncharacteristically coldly, Oh, yeah, no, get rid of them.
Alex's eyebrows definitely go up at that, but like he immediately refocuses back on the task.
Mira
Can we bring Miriam?
like, okay, then I can understand.
This would absolutely be counter to everything most people know about Kavai.
I don't know you well enough.
That's why I clarified.
Yeah, Mira is like, oh yeah, she's going ape shit. Let's go, baby.
So
She's
we're
going
assassins
feral.
now?
This is what I've been waiting for.
Tate just goes, so we're assassins now?
One of the options on the table is to essentially trick them to taking each other out.
Kavai would like almost interrupt and say, I can get them to do that.
And Tate, I'd start reading these pads before you start casting moral aspirations on the situation.
I'm not casting more aspirations. I was just asking a question.
It's a fair question to consider.
It is a fair question, and it's why I was wondering if we should bring Muriel into. Can you add another person, Julian, or are you at your theoretical limit?
She's at her limit.
This is already incredibly exhausting for you, Commander. Like, holding this up for as long as you have is an impressive feat, and you will need probably so much of whatever this century's equivalent is of, like, extra strength Tylenol.
At the very least, she'd be somebody to
another
talk to about
curveball up my
logistics.
sleeve, so
An eighth person hiding in the wings.
no, not quite.
Okay, so returning to the question. You're saying you have a chance to pin them against each other, right?
No, I'm saying I can get them to kill themselves.
As in...
I will reach out, touch you, and you get a wave of suicidal ideation in your head before it quickly snaps back in a way.
Is there a possibility for Mira to really harshly slam her head onto the table?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She does
Kavai
that,
jumps
like,
about a foot in the air.
as heavily as possible.
Are you sure that'll work?
This is fucked up. I'm
Kavai's
sorry, but
face sort of shifts, downcast. I've done it before.
yeah, no. We'll use what we can. I'm just, oof. It really took her like a lot of willpower to not yell at Kavai, but she knows that it's an explanation she asked.
Totally fair.
Would your parents have?
It's fair. Yeah. So
Just to clarify real quick, what Kavai did, it's not suicidal ideation from Kavai, it's Kavai provoking Mira to feel suicidal?
No. It's it's more the former, but it triggers the latter, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would your parents?
we'll need to talk about it.
Well, it's like, so for a brief moment, it was Kavai's feeling, but Mira's shared in it and wanted to do it too.
Okay.
Yes.
Tate?
Would your Tate sort of looks at Kavai with a little bit of sympathy and says that your fathers have ways of fighting that. I know one of them's a Vulcan. Would he be able to fight you off?
We have a very strong connection, but I was never willing to fight back before. So yes, I think it will work.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm all for. I'm all for doing whatever it is what we need to do here. And I realize that I'm a little bit out of line in saying this, but I think I draw the line there. Not because of any moral thing, but because of what I think it's wrong to it's the kind of damage that likely will do to Kavai on a level that most of us probably won't even understand. I don't know that I'm willing to risk that. So I'm happy to do whatever else we have to do, but that's where I personally draw the line.
Yeah, I think there are plenty of methods to take them down that don't involve Kavai putting themselves in that level of danger.
Yeah, and Jaloran would make it clear that she's
But
of
it
the
is a
same
good
thought as
last
Lieutenant
ditch
Carballo. Yeah, she doesn't want to put Kavai at risk like that because she doesn't want to lose Kavai. She doesn't want to lose the essence of Kavai. So she'd rather use other methods of pitting
So
them
it's a
against each other.
risk. Ah.
Yeah, so she'd rather use other methods of pitting them against each other and taking each other out that doesn't involve Kavai.
I think Kavai sort of like butts in with, well, that's not very efficient. But you also get this underlying sense of they had not thought about like their own stake in this at all. And other people's concern for their well-being is like they're having to put that very far away and or they will break down.
Yeah, genuinely, like Alec usually is like not that far away from like a joke or just like cracking a joke or whatever. Like this is probably like the most like dead serious anyone's ever seen him.
You get that.
Yeah, and that kind of gets amplified by Jaloran. It's like she's not
Except-
willing to lose Kavai that way.
I will add that the exception to
Yeah.
that is Tate is and Kadan is probably the exception to that. Like you've seen this before.
Yeah, you get that.
Mira had no
and-
idea that it
hold on.
was dangerous.
Hold on.
but
Let Slay.
I keep saying stuff too late or too early. My connection must be
It's
like
the
a
ping.
horribly
Yeah.
delayed
Yeah.
mess.
Alright,
Yeah.
continue, Tate.
It's the ping.
I think Alec would sort of notice, like, not necessarily like a stark difference from the way Kadan would have handled this situation. Kadan would definitely be on Alec's side. You kind of notice that Tate seems doesn't want to put Kavai in that position, but you get the feeling that they're willing to put Kavai in that position, and you kind of that kind of reminds you of who they were raised by. You kind of see the similarity between them and their mother, and it reminds Jaloran of who they were raised by, and you kind of get a similarity between Tate and their mother in that instance.
Very much like a case of same hat, like kindred spirit kind of thing of this is our problem to deal with, not anybody else's kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now, two people are gonna get caught in Caraballo's complication because I didn't forget about that.
I did.
I didn't.
Same.
I definitely
Oh
did.
I
shit!
wondered if you were gonna pull that sooner or later.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the interesting thing for you, Alec, is though you are in this mindscape, your body is somewhere else, and you can. It's a smell. It's a sensory thing.
Did he piss his pants or something?
No, it's a sense of burning. It's like charged heat and sizzling, like an exposed electrical wire being hit by the rain.
Oh no, you're about to be set on fire.
shit!
For Kavai, in this mindscape, the first thing that you notice is a sharp tinge of pain that's kind of on your cheek, and you just instinctively kind of look there and just touch your cheek and look, and it feels warm and somewhat feels like your own blood as this all happens in a microsecond. The only way you can be cut like this, Kavai, is if your window has shattered and glass has cut you. The only smell that you can recognize, Alec, that even smells remotely like that, is disruptor fire. Active, rapid purging disruptor fire.
Great, love that.
I think Alec looks across at Kavai, eyes wide, and then looks at Mira and just goes, "We have to go now."
Yeah, in that same moment, like that seventh presence, everybody can feel it. There's like sudden alarm. There's clearly something wrong. And that snaps Jaloran's attention to where it needs to be, and suddenly the connection's cut.
Everyone is cut out of their connections, and Kavai, the lights have been shot out, the window broken, the rhythmic beat of sheets of rain hitting the streets can only be juxtaposed by the staccato of disruptive fire. It is rapid and it is continuous, and there's no real way for you to peek your head out without risk being hit.
Oh, yeah, no. Kavai doesn't even try to look around. They're on the floor. They're going to crawl towards probably a back door, if possible.
Yeah, you are able to do so as you continue. Once you get into like the stairwell, there's a blind space where you can stand up and gain your footing and figure out your position from there. However, the firing continues, and just judging by it, as Alec and Mira come to, the amount and rapid fire that is happening, either this is a disruptor cannon, which is fairly unlikely, or there are at least 4 assailants with disruptor rifles. And just so as you keep this in mind, disruptors do not have a stun setting at all.
They sure don't.
Okay, so can we see who is firing? Because we're like outside and
inside security checks, difficulty 2.
Okay. You can use
while they're
Mira. You can.
Is this
you
for
can
everyone
use...
present, or
everyone present, except actually Dr. Atherton and Tate and Jordan are shipside. They are not encountering this.
So Mira, because of my collaboration security, you get to use my security, which is 5.
Oh wow, that's a lot. Okay, 5.
Meanwhile, back up on the ship. Yeah, 3 momentum. Back up on the ship.
No, which dice? Which dice?
D20s.
Oh, okay. Right, I'm sorry. I keep
17 and a 1.
Okay, I got 2 successes on my
So
end.
2 for me.
With security and what else? I'm sorry. Control,
Insight.
no?
Insight.
Or presence. Security and presence. Insight. Fuck.
Insight.
So sorry.
Insight. Back up on the ship. In the ready room.
There are 2 successes. Yeah.
Okay.
Same here.
Back
I'm
up
so
on the ship
sorry.
then.
I'm so
You're
sorry.
Good.
To Tate and Atherton, who are next to Jaloran, it suddenly becomes very clear the strain that whole thing is taken. As Jaloran just tumbles off the couch, she's unconscious.
Atherton will drag her back onto the couch.
Heck.
But she's not happy about it.
Yeah, Tail, get her on the couch. I'll help get her on the couch.
Okay.
She will then say
That's
to
the sound
Jaloran's
of her
unconscious
falling.
body, that was very stupid of you.
Because it's like on top of all that, she's exhausted. It's like Kavai has not just been dodging Tate, she's also been dodging Jaloran to an extent. And she's been stretching Jaloran's resources to like the exact
Limit.
extreme. Yeah, her resources are pretty much. She's been burning the candle at both ends at this point.
Then
And
whatever
it
she
was just
said.
like, that was just like the last thing that needed to happen before like just pass out.
Well, Tate, we have two options now that the commander is out of service. Do we want to figure out what the fuck just happened to those three, or do we want to attempt to get a head start on figuring out
for that
this?
matter, I think Kavai would get their badge back out and inform everybody of what the fuck is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Now
excellent!
that they're team player.
Thank you.
Thank
Tate,
you.
Oh, that's so
So-
sweet.
Tate says the commander will have the rest of the plan will have to wait. We need to help them. Tate goes to the bridge.
Okay.
Are we all? Actually, never mind. Sorry.
Commander Jax is the Commander Lee Jax is the one at the con. Wonderful for you to join us, Commander. There appears to be doing sweeps. Doesn't appear to be any activity right now.
Other than the firefight going on in Kavai's safe house?
The what?
Yeah.
Scan the safe house now.
I love the Sao Paulo class as she scans across the controls and the screen comes up and you get a kind of a satellite view and you can see the Starfleet deltas to signify each like Starfleet player down there. And then there are 4 individuals somewhat tactically spread out and clear energy bursts are being dispersed from those areas.
Are we able to direct Alec and
Yeah, that's what I was
Myra?
about to do.
Mira and Alec, yes.
Mira.
Yes, you are able to direct them. Essentially, Alec and Mira have spotted 2 of them, but the other 2 not so much. So you're kind of guiding them how to.
Yeah, I call out their positions I calm Alec and Mira. Say they're and calm out their positions. You got 4 disruptor fire. They're here, here, and here, and here. Spread out tactically. You're not gonna be able to take more than one of them at a time, I don't think.
I genuinely think this is one of those situations where, like, as this is happening, Alec is like jumping behind cover and going, "Really? I thought those were just really angry lampposts." And
One day it'll be angry lampposts, Alec. One day.
we can only hope.
Okay.
You know, backup. It'll take us a while to get in the machine, but
I have eyes on anybody.
Who? Who?
While you're on the
backup?
floor and covered.
No.
I have a question for the GM real quick after you answer Kavai's question.
You do not have a sight on anyone, Kavai. Given how they seem to be targeting you specifically, they're probably
that's bad.
somewhat focused on
Mm-hmm.
you. You
Just
could
keep
probably
lying.
locate them. However, you could locate them by trying to peek out somewhere or somehow. Just know if you do so, there is a high likelihood that you will be drawing more fire than you already are.
Yeah, no, we're not
Wait till
doing
the
that.
sniper. Please don't peek. Please don't peek.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Okay, I have a
So
question.
can I
Or sorry, no,
just?
Tate had a question. Slay had a question. Sorry.
Yeah,
Mhm.
as far as the alterations to me and Atherton, they're not there? Are they not completely not there anymore? Or How's that
You would
work?
They
have to
haven't
reset
happened
again.
yet.
Yeah, you would have to reset again.
Okay.
So there is the option where you could go down. You could straight up just use transports. That is an option to you. However,
There's
if you were to do something to that, that
like
is such a
4 of
high
them. We can take.
profile risk. Should you do something like that, effectively in game time, you can assess and looking at this. If you transport in and offer support somehow, you have to end this whole thing in probably less than 120 seconds. Should you do anything further, it could probably be detected and investigated.
Yeah.
How fast a shot are you at it?
If we were to put this into like theoretical numbers, I have a security of 3 and many focuses and talents that would aid me in being a quick shot.
Am I on the comms during this conversation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm going to say, don't risk the
And
mission.
me.
We'll handle this.
If you're sure you've got it, then I don't want to go down there. But are you sure you've got it?
Say,
Alec, it's 4
Mary's
people.
like, there are 4 of them. Come on, it's too easy. Let's go already. We're wasting time just blah blahing about it.
All right.
well, you heard the doctor.
All right.
you heard the
take care of
doctor.
it.
You can. She's restless. I'm sorry.
As far as we can tell, we've got the jump on them. They don't know we're here. We can do this. Just don't
Okay.
risk the mission. Focus
Be
on
safe.
completing the mission.
All right. We'll monitor the situation from
Oh,
here, and
finally.
we'll call out troop movements when they get here. We'll call out movements when they get here.
All right.
Understood. We'll focus on extracting Kavai.
All right, go.
All right.
Hell yeah.
And people that are engaged in any form of active need to fight, that's going to be, depending on how you approach this, it will either be a control security or it's going to be a daring security.
The difference being,
Control, you'll probably have a easier time dropping someone, but the other problem of that being is you're taking time to line up a shot, and the more time
Right.
you take up to line a shot, there's the larger chance that someone will slip through the cracks and potentially put Kavai at more risk than already.
yeah, no, I'm going daring here, daring security, and again, the collaboration is happening, so Mira can keep using my my security stat, which is 5.
My daring is 9 if you need it.
So 9,
So-
5. So
Mine's
essentially,
10.
both of you need, and this is going to be a difficulty of 2, just standard difficulty.
Okay.
For the first 2 individuals. And
Okay.
I need to ask this question because you are using phasers. Are you going for stun or
I'm
kill here?
not actually. Actually, could I discuss this a little bit? Because Miri is not like a really good shot, so she kind of is like
Oh, you're just
she
gonna go
kinda
for full
turns
brawl.
to Alec. She took those knuckles. She's gonna use them. If you think she ain't, that's sorry. So
Oh, I mean,
she's gonna turn to Alec and it's like, and she's like, okay, you're a good shot. You know how the you know how and when to shoot. So just the moment I launch, you do it.
Oh, I'll get him to
And,
flinch, and you
You know,
knock
she
him down.
she runs forward.
Okay.
And
I'll get him to
she,
flinch, and you knock him down.
All right.
Yeah.
and I do need,
All right.
and this is very important again, because you're up against disruptors. You technically do have the authorization as being the on-site ranking officer to determine whether it is a stun or kill set for this.
I'm setting mine to stun.
She tackles both of them. If she breaks a nose or snaps a neck, that depends on how tough they are.
All right.
So.
Yeah. Make a. Yeah. This is daring security then.
Right.
Difficulty
Mira?
2.
Or
Let's
me?
roll, baby.
Fuck him up!
Both of you.
Okay, cool. Can I also?
do an sorry.
Yeah, you can do
Oh,
an
I was
assist because you were doing an overwatch.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah. So what do I roll for my assist?
You're going to actually
Both
be
success.
doing this is control security because you have control over the situation to some degree. And it's just one die.
Okay.
I would like to use. Can I do the aim minor action?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm
Two
having to.
successes from Tate. Thank you, control.
Oh, I just remembered a question I was going to ask before. Because of ours, we were at 3 momentum, but then we've all made successful checks for So what were we at after that? Were we we made the successful
You
inside
would have maxed
security?
out for sure.
Oh, okay, cool. Then I'm going to buy a die. Just
Okay.
so if that's cool with everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, great.
Yum.
Okay. Oh, that's not good. Okay. Well, I did get 2 successes, and the complication range is standard.
Complication range is standard.
Oh, thank fuck. Okay. That was a 19. But I did get 2 successes.
Ooh.
Okay.
You got 2 successes from Tate.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
Then with all of that, essentially you were able to stun, and pulling off the shots are not. I mean, they are kind of quick shots because disruptor rifles with a rapid fire pulse setting kind of means you don't want to peek for too long. But you are able to get them to staggered, and Mira kind of finishes the job, knocking 2 of them out. But you do have at least one of them head towards Kavai's apartment, and the other one is actually going to split off.
You got
What
one
if
splitting
I-
off, one going up to
Yeah,
Kavai.
What if I also wish to spend momentum to retain the initiative, though?
The
Actually, since I have decisive leadership, since I did an assist task, we can keep the initiative without spending momentum. I have decisive,
Even
Oh,
better.
decisive
right.
leadership.
Yo!
Yeah.
Even
That's why I
better.
did my assist.
Hell yeah. Okay, then 100%.
Hell
I'm
to
gonna
the
take.
yeah.
I'm gonna take aim at the one that's moving towards Kavai. Absolutely.
Okay. There's no way this dude sees it coming. He will just get. The way he kind of recoils is like someone getting hit by a metal bat, like center mass to the back of their spine. That's kind of like how they jolt forward before crumpling.
Quick question. Is there a possibility for Mira to, kind of reach and tackle the guy that's running away?
You
Splitting
have
off.
to give a slight chase.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
We're not losing advantage of, invisibility, sort of.
This is gonna be
Alright,
fitness security.
do I need to roll
because-
for it?
Yep, fitness security, because he's gonna fight back.
And you can still use my security.
Can I use another assist?
Yes, you can.
All right, assisting. Control security.
Okay, fitness security 5. Alright. 2 successes. Your
from Tate.
fucking security. Good.
This is literally what Alec was built to do.
The he
One
does.
from Tate.
It is one of those things where you kind of fall back on instinct, where he starts going for several types of swings and kicks, and you are able to just kind of block, deflect, and eventually just knock him out. You can feel the pain afterwards, as Ryan gravity is just a little different. So the hits, you will be feeling bruises later, but you did effectively win this brawl.
I think I'm
She's
gonna.
gonna.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
She kind of spits on the ground and like, okay, my guy, She's gonna grab him and like under her arm. You're a fucking bitch, but you know what? Kind of weak, aren't you?
There's no response. He's unconscious.
Yeah,
I
she
think
is trash talking.
I'm gonna seeing Mira running off after the one guy. Like, I think Alec is going to trust that Mira is going to handle that and make for Kavai.
Mm-hmm.
And like go along the way, kicking disruptors away from people as I like as I make my way towards the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
While he is with Kawai, I'm gonna say Mira is gonna be busy making a pile out of those guys. Just stacking
Praise
them
the
on top of each
pile.
other.
I think
For,
The pile
for
of corpse.
you, Kavai, it's like there was disruptor fire, and then there was a few exchanges of fire, and then just dead silence. And
With
then
your-
just the rain again.
Absolutely stuck still.
I think Alec is like at this point in the apartment and just sort of like phaser's still out and just going, Kavai.
I make my way toward him very carefully, though, still.
This is gonna be
Here.
a fun one because I still look Orion.
There's absolutely like that like hesitation then. It just like, okay.
It's me. I know it's weird to me too. I look, your assailants are down, but there's no guarantees there aren't going to be others. We've got to get out of here right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just
beat grabbing
Are you
all their
okay?
shit. Yeah, I'm fine. Shit. Who are they wearing any sort of like uniform? Like she's trying to like get like who are these guys? What side?
They don't wear any particular identifying uniforms. However,
That makes sense.
you do recognize one of them because they were at Yuri's dinner party.
Great.
But upon that realization, we are gonna take our 10 because we've let it drag on just a little bit long. But
Action!
yeah, we'll be right back. Because require water and maybe possibly
yeah.
AC. Alright, welcome back. We had a little bit of a break, and challenges were issues, plots were made. But,
Bring it on, Joe. Bring it on.
listen, I don't have to win. We both just have to lose.
Don't tempt him. We only have 30 minutes left. Don't tempt him.
But
My turn.
anyways, with where is Kavai being taken upon being retrieved from this now shot up apartment building?
I'll be honest with you. Didn't think that far ahead.
With your permission, Tate, when they extract Kavai, do you mind if I go hop in the booth and clean up before somebody else does?
Yes, go for it.
Alright, I'm waiting until those three exit the area though. But like I'm trying to get there before whoever's bosses get there because
Okay.
we don't want them going back into the pool to tell all.
Yeah. Alright. The biggest question then for Mira and Kavai is, are you reassessing somewhere planet side, or are you going for a, at least for the moment, like extraction?
I'll be honest, and either of you two can like weigh in on this, but personally, I don't know that extraction is the best call at the moment because I feel like we're already riding a razor's edge, and being
Yeah.
here keeps
Ooh, we can pretend we kidnapped her.
That's not the worst idea.
Yeah,
in the
that's
world.
actually got
Kinda
some merit to it.
Aren't you just
Especially now that you look like
Down
Orion.
for that.
Yeah, that's not a terrible
Actually,
idea.
ooh, can I give something a try?
Sure.
What Mira does, she kind of turns to Kabai. Okay, I need you to tell me, are there any cameras around here?
I will point them out if there are any.
Yeah,
I assume there's a ton.
Next question. Can I grab you?
Yes,
Please.
of course. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, I know.
I definitely
I'm gonna be
has
really
to
gentle,
center
but-
themselves hardcore.
Okay.
Yeah, just be cool about it, okay? I'm gonna be as soft as possible. And she kind of grabs her and he drapes her over her shoulder, like like you would see someone kidnapping someone in a, how do I say it, cartoons yet again. And she kind of grabs her like very gently over her waist so she wouldn't fall off by accident. Now pretend that you're unconscious. You can still speak to us, just make sure that your head is down.
Kavai definitely will drop their head because they are like lemon yellow.
I'm so sorry, Kawai.
I'll just say I like where your head's at, Lieutenant, and I'll actually also go ahead and go the extra mile and pick up one of the fallen disruptors.
Okay.
Nice. All right.
Are you going to report back what your plan is? Because I could play into that
Yes,
really well with my cleanup
absolutely.
efforts. Okay, yeah, I
100%
can roll with that. I can roll with that.
I'll just say, all right, Caraballo to command.
This is command. Go ahead, Carabine.
All right, so we've extracted Kavai and we're doing a little bit of an improvisational mission adjacent. Well, we're posing as kidnappers. Hopefully, we can use this to our advantage and in the efforts to get them to turn on each other.
And doesn't compromise Kavai's cover at all. Good work. Proceed.
Understood. We'll find a place to settle in, and then we can fine tune we can de-improvise the improvisational parts of this.
Question to the GM: what during the 21 days? What is it reasonable to say that that Tate found a place that they could use to fall back to if they needed it? Because Tate's been on the ground 21 days.
Yeah, you were on the ground for 21 days, and half of that you were frustratingly being avoided, so you had to occupy your time somehow.
Yeah.
I give you coordinates to one of the couple safe houses I managed to set up around near Kavai's place. Not too close, so it's harder to find, but it's close enough that you can get to pretty quickly.
Perfect. We'll contact you once we arrive.
All right.
Okay. For Atherton, your cleanup duty really does sell this whole kidnapping thing, actually.
It's inspired work, actually. It's almost like I've done it before.
That's unsettling. Yeah.
Not surprising to me.
Definitely not. But there is.
You're unconscious right now, Commander.
Yep.
You can't judge me for the next 8 hours.
Probably longer, considering how exhausted she is.
The vigilance is getting a hail. at this point. And Tate, you are the only one on bridge. As the con officer, she looks down and
Who's it from?
the admiral, here or the ready room.
We'll go. Give me 10 seconds. Go to get to the writing room. And I go to the writing room.
Answering the call, the admiral is surprised that it is you answering. Tate, this is unexpected. I was anticipating the commanders.
Commander Jaloran is doing something else right now. What was your call about, Admiral?
Well, it is something for their clearance, so if you could get them, that would be appreciated.
They're indisposed at the moment, Admiral.
Well, that does complicate things.
Read me in.
Fine. Then at this point, only you and the commander are in the know. And she'll inform you as to the whole mission plan and things like that, but essentially, she's just looking for an update on the mission, because there's just end-of-day updates.
Okay. Let's see here. I inform her that the safe house that Kavai's apartment was attacked, but we managed to salvage the situation, and we're deploying countermeasures at this point. We salvaged a situation where we basically are kidnapping her. We're basically posing as her kidnappers. We're going to use this to turn the other active parties against each other.
Hey, this is a very delicate mission, and one that has to succeed to put at least a healthy stopgap on Orion piracy.
Understood, Admiral. We'll get it done.
I should hope so. I've definitely been seeing some irregularities in reports that have been put in.
Tate just nods and says, "I understood, Admiral, but we can do this. We'll get it done.
I should hope
You
so.
know me. I can do this."
Yes, I should hope so. Though in the future, Commander,
Yes, Admiral.
I keep a good eye on every mission asset, profile or otherwise. Make sure in your upcoming reports that they don't conflict with what I already know.
God, I hate this bitch.
And then she'll stop the call.
Tate just got scolded by their mother, so they're a little. They take a deep breath and go, "I'll unpack that later." And they get back to work.
Okay.
What did Mulaney said? I'm gonna put all the trauma in one place, and then one day I'll explode or die, whatever.
Just keep bottling it up. It'll all be fine. What's the worst that could happen?
Surely not multiple incidents.
It's like, yeah, they'll probably have a therapist.
Mm-hmm. So I have a
boy.
question here, because this is going to inform the next session as well as the last leading minutes here. Over the next several weeks leading up to that 64th, 60th some odd day. How do you approach this kidnapping aspect? Do you keep it kind of under wraps? Do you let it be a mystery? Do you let people exhaust themselves trying to figure out what's happening? How do you approach that?
If I may make a suggestion on that,
Yeah, go for it.
I think that we let it be a mystery for a little bit. Let them sort of like build up their tensions. Let them figure out on their own that something went wrong, and then only once we know that they have like that the tensions are building up, then we put in a fake ransom demand, that's something outrageous that there's no way they would ever agree to, and pinning it on somebody else.
Question is, who do we pin on? It has to be convincing.
And we also have to make sure that neither of you were, well, the three of us actually, because I was also on scene. None of the three of us were actually caught on cameras kidnapping Kavai, because if that happens, we're going to have to basically play either henchman to whoever you want to, I'm forgetting a word.
No. Specifically,
you wanna frame.
we have to get caught, but our faces should not. We have to get caught because otherwise they will not like believe that it's a kidnapping, right?
I mean,
Like to make sure that it's like maybe our backs get caught, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tate
if, like,
could play the leader because Tate's been following Kavai for a while. So like, if you go back through cameras, you might see like an Orion that looks like Tate.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we even know who's like fully
Well, that's a good
behind this?
idea.
With all of your permission, I think Dr. Atherton would like to focus specifically on the more like infosec side of things. Like she wants to know more about what's actually going on with the syndicate and
honestly,
sort of
I think sorry.
if she can basically just if she can learn as much as possible about them so that she can put them in, so that she can feed the quote unquote kidnappers the right information.
Yeah. And I was going to say, honestly, that fits in perfectly with like letting them stew for a little bit. And we use that time while they're like building up agitation and tension. We use that time to gather information. I think that fits perfectly.
And Kavai also seed out information of their own. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that they could have, if they were kidnapped, gotten a hold of something and tried to send out a message to their family to be like, what the fuck is up? Help. Like that kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. I guess the important question for like how much information Dr. Atherton could get out of them is, do they have permission to contact people as an Orion? Like, do they have permission to basically?
Well,
they don't want to like. They definitely don't want to put themselves on their radar, but like at the same time,
that would be up to Jaloran because she'd be awake by now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
No, I was asking everybody in charge.
Yeah. So that'd be up to the commander.
Basically, do they have to purely use online information, or are they able to go out and make contact if they have to get something out of somebody?
I think with this adjustment in mission parameters, she would leverage the advantage that has just been plopped in our laps, and she would give the go-ahead for discreet contact.
Okay.
And would it be reasonable to say if I could point you in the right direction of a few safe people to ask?
Oh, yeah.
All right, Dr. Atherton wants to know as much about these assholes as possible so that we know exactly how to convince them to drop dead.
And to like put additional parameters on that as well, I think it is fair to say that like our firefight got caught on camera, and so whoever it's important, I think, for Dr. Atherton to also make sure that we focus on figuring out who the other people that we just dropped were working for, so that we don't say we're with them, because that would be
Yeah.
I
Oh,
definitely
yeah.
want to know that.
I definitely want to know that, and I guess, like, in more specifically what she's looking for general information on their particular roles in the syndicate and how the operation works out. But they're also looking for anything blackmailable, anything that they could use to basically lure them into a secluded location or get them to act outside of their interest.
And we saw 4 initial people like captured, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did. I did actually kidnap them.
good.
They
I
are
was
not.
gonna suggest
They
as
are
much.
actually
Nice.
probably not
And,
even on
you know-
Orion. They are probably in the brig of the Vigilance.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Clary would not have recommended putting them on the ship because she
what-
wanted to play it as an actual kidnapping.
Oh well, then in that
Oh,
case,
okay.
where would you have dumped them?
Yeah.
I'd have fucking found it. I would have set up
Well-
a safe hole.
I did establish that Tate had set up multiple save houses,
Yeah,
so
so
you
you
could be at
probably
one
have
at once.
another one
That's-
for that.
Like
Yeah.
this is actually a legitimate just kidnapping. Like it's not exactly a morally sound choice here, but Dr. Atherton wants this to come across as much as possible as like
Almost-
inter Orion politics. So if she has to play the part of a kidnapper on the side,
Can I help you?
oops.
Bonus about this.
Can you what?
I was gonna say, can I help you interrogate these assholes? They kind of wanted me like captured and or dead.
Yeah, they
and
were
I don't
trying
know
to kill
which.
you.
Well, I don't know if they were trying to kill me yet.
They were firing through your window at you with a disruptor.
That
They
could be
wanted
trying
you
to
dead,
get me
Kabai.
out. I don't know that for sure. She's in denial, okay?
Clarice is going to grab you by the shoulders and make sure you understand this before you have a conversation with them.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I love how she was like very, very ready to kill the other guys, but with this goon, she's like, "But what if we want Dwayne to kill me?"
Okay. Well
It's
then.
different when it's your parents, okay?
Okay. Well then, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna end tonight's scene because I think
I
this will
love this
really put some
game.
gravity into the final episode. But
Gravity.
Oh yeah, Star Trek Gravity. That's
anyways,
great.
at this secondary safe house, these 4 individuals, have you put them in a cell together or all separate?
Honestly, I probably set it up so that they can basically have free rot, like nothing in there that they could use to hurt themselves or me. But I'm just gonna set up a safe house that they can't get out of and let them have free reign of an apartment. Basically, I don't want them to be like in a cell.
Okay.
But
It's the one I recognize, by the
Bonus,
way.
they were very easy. They were very easy to pick up because they were in one convenient pile.
Yeah, the one
I
you
wonder who
recognize
you should thank for that.
is, probably off in a corner, just doing what they can with what they have to make some form of mediocre meal for, Dr. Atherton and Kavai show up.
oh, but there's also so many if they try to get out, they will probably get electrocuted and die.
I think that's been established
Nice.
pretty heftily.
I
and
say that
demonstrated.
explicitly.
Yeah, I would say just because you've let them stew and it's been a long time, I'd say you're like only maybe a couple days away from the whole mission objective thing that needs to happen, but I kind of notice you, Dr. Ethan, and Kvi, which they are actually horrendously surprised by.
Oh, here's your weekly groceries. And here's the person you tried to kill.
I just give like a very like
Nice.
hi, like it's just very casual like wave and a very slow smile.
One of the other ones who is kind of just sitting at like a couch or something just kind of eyes both of you. Well, you want something.
No, I'm keeping you here for my own amusement, actually.
Yeah, well, that one's been established. I'm not talking about you.
Shut up. Thank you. Now then, I clap my hands together. We can be friends. Or I can make you regret every decision you've ever made in your entire lives. Now you may
I'm
speak.
sorry, but that ambulance in the background
That was for the
really
Orion.
gave your threats weight, like a lot of it. Yeah.
World building, world building.
Fine. Ask
We're in a
your
city.
World building.
questions then. Since I assume you're going to ask them.
I can only imagine why you would like me dead. But who put you up to it?
Well, obviously I can't answer that question super directly. That seems...
I'm going to walk closer and get right in his bubble. No. You're going to tell me. Or you're not leaving this room ever.
If I leave this room upon failing, I will die.
Oh, honey, what I will put you through is going to be so much worse than dying. Please don't make me do that.
Okay, well, it's not as simple as just telling you, as you know, with a virus
I
syndicate, it's...
will reach out and take his face in both of my hands.
Okay.
You don't need to tell me anything. Just let me know. Okay? And I'm just going to flood him. Just
okay.
any sort of sense of they want to give me this information. And they're going to know why they want to give me this information.
Okay. There is a confliction of emotion that is pushing back against, and the emotion you're getting back is, there is this debate. There is this internal emotional debate that you are sensing. They for sure want to tell you, like, just because of the emotional flood, and it is a lot for them to deal with. But they are absolutely afraid to tell you, because whoever this individual is that they work for, they are incredibly terrified of them.
I
have a question.
Yes.
Would a physical sensation for the Orion help or hurt Kavai in this?
It's a 50-50. You don't really...
Alright, then I won't interfere.
I was just about to ask me if Jaloran could leverage again.
Maybe.
Could I use my new value?
Yeah, actually, you could.
They wanted a weapon. They got one.
Jesus.
And basically, Jaloran would be piggybacking on that. She would take advantage of the connection the two of them have, and the fact that Kavai has made a connection with, like, a physical connection with this Orion. Rather than letting Kavai do it, Jaloran do it.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay. Kavai, for you, you are starting
She would essentially deep dive into their memories and find the name of who it is.
Okay. It takes you a long while, and Kvi, you start beginning to, because you can feel a familiar sensation off of this individual. It takes a little bit of time, and with Jaloran's assistance, Jaloran, you are able to pick out a name. Delar, which is a name that you are able to kind of help Kvi find. Kvi, you know that name because for the past 20 some odd days, you've been shadowing and being next to this person for a very long time. And for you, Kvi, you're starting to, just because of certain behaviors and certain intoxication states, you're starting to have specific memories, like the invitation to the dinner party and inviting the parents and stuff like that, and all of these things, all these connections. Yuri certainly is a target for Starfleet, and should, he be taken out, it will for sure fall onto your parents to take the blame, as they are rivals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's no guarantee that they will... Your parents will likely come out on top more than anything. However, the
This would look bad on Valar.
The retaliation would hurt both your parents a lot, to the point where, like, they would have to build from the ground up. They would have nothing if they were to have, like, a syndicate in-fight war.
Mm-mm.
Delar is a specialist in medicine, psychology, sociology.
Have I encountered them before directly, or just from this party?
The person you were hanging out with, yeah.
Oh, one of the daughters?
Yeah.
Yes, love that. Great.
What you are doing to them, they are doing to you.
Yeah, that tracks. That's catty behavior.
And just going back,
More like
through
pussy
Kvi,
behavior.
certain
Honestly,
memories that
this is just Orion flirting.
as you go through, this isn't necessarily... They certainly sent these individuals to attack you, and if they did kill you, it was probably a sense of, like, okay, kind of unfortunate, part of the business. But what that does do, inevitably, provokes a syndicate civil war. And Delar has always been a patient student at the Ryan Science Academy. Essentially, from the bubble, she can pretty much take whatever the hell she wants. The exact mission parameters that were being given, that Jaloran has fed you, and you are aware of, should this mission kind of come to head, there's a new problem. Should this mission come to see, you take out 3 players off the board, but they are 3 players that you know. Delar's new to the game. You have no idea what she's like as a person, or a syndicate leader, or what she will do, or anything to get any sense of anything done. She is a complete unknown.
I let this guy go. Well, that wasn't so hard now, was it? Just give him a little gentle pat.
I give him a sandwich.
This is a, like,
Just
6'3"
situation.
This is a 6'3" alignment, and he looks like he's about ready to curl up into a ball and cry.
Good.
Aw, poor guy.
No.
But you do know now, Kavai, given the orders that Jaloran's been gotten, and now what you know, on this whole finale of this mission, you now have a choice. You can either stop these 3 syndicate members from eliminating each other, thus keeping them on the board, or you can let it happen and release an unknown element into the world. But that's something to reflect and think about as we will end this session, and then we will continue next week for our final episode of Season 1.
Oh, damn.
But, like always,
Bam, bam, bam.
truly hope for a little bit of it, we've been some of your days R&R. See you later.